Hello, everyone. Before we get started today, I wanted to let you know, especially if you are one of my loyal listeners that is looking for a little bit more, I've created a paid subscription option for the podcast for 99 pence per month. On top of this being ad-free and just purely being the essence of the episodes, I will be doing bonus episodes, some personal update episodes, and we'll also include any information, invites into any virtual workshops or online things that I do in the future. So if you fancy it, check out the show notes below with the link and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of The Self-Improvement Project. It is the 24th of September 2022. I think that is the first time I have ever stated the date on this podcast, but might be one to look back on. I always like to say that the content here should be timely and timeless. So I hope that resonates as well today. I hope everybody is well. I hope you are keeping well, whether it's health-wise, physically, mentally, motivationally, or just taking care of yourself through some form of rest. I've done episodes on rest before, but I find it fascinating what types of rest can impact us at the right time when we need it, and almost figuring out what type of rest we need, not just the obvious rest where we do nothing, but the rest in the form of play or doing something creative as well. Today's episode is called Happiness, Absence versus Presence of Things. And it comes from the quote that is very similar that says, happiness comes from the absence of things rather than the presence of things. And I want to share this idea and perspective with you today. So, in the majority of our lives, we have most things readily available to us. Our phones, food, TV, any form of entertainment, socializing. We have this form of satiation, this limitless pleasure. And as I've just mentioned, it's endless. We can have as much of it as we want. And there is a challenge that exists from this endless pleasure, and that is discipline. When you have unlimited access to things, self-discipline becomes extremely difficult. We can try our best and feel the temporary misery of self-discipline, but we always end up slipping back into the old desires if we don't completely remove ourselves from certain environments or removing things from these environments. For example, this episode I've written and I'm recording right now without my phone. And I feel like that is a benefit to the quality of this. And from previous episodes on the podcast, we know that this idea of less is more is not a new idea or anything groundbreaking. But I just want to explore it from this perspective today, looking at how absence can almost aid happiness. It may take us time to realise or discover, especially whilst we're going through the pits of loathing with self-discipline, but the journey to happiness with oneself can come from this absence of things. Again, it's not a new idea where we almost fill our void of emptiness and loathing and unhappiness with things. And by removing them, it can cause us quite extreme pain initially. But as humans, we're amazing at adapting. We're incredible at acclimatizing to what we have. And when we have so much that we can adapt to, we should be able to adapt to having such little. It can lead to simple and timeless living. I sometimes find that my best days are those where I am not concerned with time, the time, or productivity. Combining this with the concept of material and status-seeking things, this almost happiness from a lack of things isn't to do with proving anything to anyone. It's about unlocking a way of life you may not have been able to access before because you're so blinded and immersed in the life of things. I guess part of this perspective is coming from an anti-productivity stance. We are productive so that we can get or achieve things or get things done. And this argument of absence of those things contradicts that. Those days I was referring to where I don't look at the time giving me happiness is removing time as a concept. I'm not saying I can do this every day, but on days where I can choose to, and knowing that that can unlock some happiness for me is only a positive, right? This thing that is happiness is non-tangible. It's elusive. It's fleeting. We know this. Yet, the question here is it all worth the pain of when having nothing brings to us? This might sound fairly vague, but I hope it has some form of impact on your thinking. Yet, we almost have a face-off of the easy life of presence of things, knowing that we will never be close to that level of happiness that we can have, albeit it might be nice living with that ignorant bliss that you don't know what it could bring, and that's okay. But there is that stage where you look for more, whether it's not more pleasure or, again, what the topic's been about, more things, but more fulfillment, more potentially powerful, spiritual or mindful things that make life worth living. And that could potentially be seeked via the absence of things. Perhaps it's not very obvious to us because it maybe does seem quite contradictory that without anything leading to more fulfillment, we probably think that we need more to be happier. So I hope that lands with you somewhat today. I hope there is areas of your life where the absence can benefit you. Share ideas with me. I talk very from an ideas point of view. what simple things could you, I guess, remove that would bring you more joy today or in life? And share them with me. I would love to learn more about it or explore the idea further. So, as always, thank you for listening, and I will see you all next time. Cheers. Hey guys, me again. I hope you enjoyed that episode, and if you're not ready for the Becoming Unstuck in 30 Days self-led course quite yet, why don't you try my free ebook I created? 5 simple steps to improve yourself and your life. I made this during the very first lockdown of the pandemic in the early days of the Self-Improvement Project. It's a quick go-to when you're feeling unsure what to work on when improving yourself or your lifestyle. And the great starting point if you're trying to figure out how to live a more fulfilling and simple life. The link for this will be in the show notes for you. Have a good one.